Business is absolutely set up to shape you, for God to test you through your business.
You'll lead like nobody else if you have that kind of deep-seated faith.
God just uses your business to test your heart and to say, are you in this really to give me your business and to glorify me and to bless your employees and take care of others? Or are you in it for the money?
There's been a ton of cool stuff happening in our businesses.
Yeah.
But it's funny, I was thinking about how I've been doing business now for like 7 years, and how infrequently the wins come. And I think the main reason I was reflecting on that is because we're, looking at and probably going to acquire that competitor of ours, and it feels like a big. Could be a big win, and could
windfall.
Be a big, game-changing moment
Yeah.
for the business. And I thought, you know what, the last time I think I really felt this way, where we had like a win this big, was when we signed the reseller agreement with Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a long time ago. And so, I think it's probably helpful to remember, and you and I have touched on this in the past, but when you're getting into business, you hear advice, and we talk about it frequently, which is the fact that business is so tough, and it necessitates so much grit and so much stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
And as a Christian business owner, I feel like that is a specifically helpful,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not helpful, but good place to spend time meditating and talking to the Lord. And because I think the trap when you're a Christian business owner can become, if I do give my business to the Lord, if I do, wake up every morning and pray to the Lord, like, hey, I want to die to myself. I'm going to carry my cross. My business is yours, Lord. Like, the thought process can become, well, shouldn't that mean that you just start winning all the time?
Right.
And it's like, I've given my business over to the Lord many times over the last 7 years. And thankfully, I'm surrounded by guys that are doing the same thing. The whole Sparrow ecosystem, our whole team is doing that with all our businesses.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the wins are few and far between. You're in the desert a lot of the time, it feels like, and that's just business. So
I think that's that is just business. It's like golf, it's like you go out and you just frustrate yourself, and then you hit one good drive, and it keeps you coming back, and everything in between is really kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And I think business is really similar, and you hear a lot about if you go to church much, or you've heard sermons or read books on marriage or parenting, and how God uses marriage and parenting, quite honestly, to shape the parent or the spouse more than you shape your kids.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't read a lot of parenting books, but
that's
kind of new to me. But that's interesting.
Kind of something they allude to is like God uses these contexts to shape you as one of His kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think business is absolutely set up for that, to shape you, for God to test you through your business. And I think, what you just said is right. It's like, well, I'm going to give my business to the kingdom, and therefore everything is going to get good. God's going to bless me. We've talked on 2 Corinthians 9:6 and how God's going to provide seed to the sower and bread for food, and He's going to shower you if you do these things. And we absolutely believe that. But we know, right, like, if you're a Christian, you're going to be tested, period, hard stop. That is absolutely biblically true.
Yeah.
And so I think there's times where God just uses your business to test your heart and to say, are you in this really to give me your business and to glorify me and to bless your employees and take care of others, or are you in it for the money? Because if the money doesn't come, where does your heart go?
Yep.
You know, you start feeling that.
Hopefully people can't hear that.
Yeah, they might be able to. We got a compressor kicking on behind us here.
Yeah, ignore that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's speaking of talking with the Lord about this and reflecting on it. And I like that you related it to all of the things that matter in life. Getting away from the prosperity,
I deserve. God should bless me.
Side of things.
I mean,
is tough. And go ahead.
No, I just like. Reality is like, what's getting you out of bed in the morning?
Yeah.
You know, are you getting out of bed because, you know, you're really wired for the money? Or are you deeply rooted in a desire to see God get glory, for Jesus to be known by others, and for the world to be impacted and their hurts addressed through the gospel? Mm-hmm. And is that like, does that really motivate you in your bones? Are you in it for the kingdom? And is that the reason you get out of bed in the morning? And I think God can just test you in that. And business is just so dang hard anyway that it's just ripe for God to like.
Yeah, that's where I was. We were thinking the same thing, just like two different sort of angles on that. Is like, it's such a 180 from the proclivity to be looking for God to, your relationship with God, in the exchange you have with God, to be at some point sort of like the prosperity gospel.
Yeah.
And that's been a struggle for me in business, is like, even the mindset that like God's testing me, and then like he's testing me to see if eventually I can have all the wins.
Yeah.
And like it's all going to work out.
Right.
But yeah, business is super hard. And, been talking a lot about and relating a lot of things to like Paul's journey lately. And, the overarching story of Paul's ministry is a victory, because everything's a victory in the Lord.
Yeah.
But when if you look in detail, which I don't often do very well, but thankfully there's men that are really skilled at teaching the Bible that I get to hear these stories from. And then it hits me. If you really zoom in on like Paul's ministry and you look at things like, the example I've been using a lot lately is the shipwreck. Like God's telling him he's supposed to go to a destination and teach, and he gets shipwrecked along the way.
Yeah, and like if you read the story of how they're shipwrecked, it was a harrowing journey of this is like the book Endurance. It's like Shackleton kind of like crazy, like nearly dying. This does not look like what you would think it would look like if God said, go here. You're like, sweet Lord, I'm on your path. Like the path should be pretty, you should grease the skids for me, because
I'm on God's path. So therefore things should feel right. They should feel good. I should be getting favor from the Lord while I'm doing these things. And that's just so applicable to business for me. Is if you view, I've been saying the words "we're on course" a lot lately, like in the last couple of days. But like I'm relating that to like if you view the business you're in right now, and you feel like you've given it up to the Lord, and you're doing business for the right reasons, God's plotted this course for you in business or in your career and just all of life. There's so many times in business that you're going to feel like you're shipwrecked, and Paul's response to it, which is kind of the more important or materially important part of this analogy or the story of Paul, is Paul sees it. He has enough faith in the Lord's providence and his plan that he doesn't view it the way you and I would view it. Like when something happens in business,
Paul,
my cloud service goes down and, all my customers are pissed off, I'm not really good at like looking around and viewing it as an opportunity or opportunity for, growth in myself or.
They're literally like, I think if I remember the story, Paul's like, men, we're not going to die. We shall not die. This is like he says these words of confidence literally like in the throes of like total hell.
Dude.
And it'd be like like cloud servers are down, customers are calling. You look at your staff and be like, we're going to be okay.
Yes.
This is God's plan.
Well, I would relate that. I think this is like the way more impactful word from the Lord in the biblical version of Jocko's. Like if anybody that's listening is a fan of Jocko, you've probably, if you are a fan of Jocko, you've probably heard his good.
Yes. Yes.
Good story and his monologue on that.
Yeah.
As bad things would happen, people would come to him and be like, Jocko, what do we do? And he'd just say, good.
Yeah.
This is like the biblical version
got my
of
leg
that.
blown off. Good.
Yeah.
He's just like, everything makes you better.
Everything makes you better. And this is the assured, like, take it to the bank version of that. If you're a believer, like that is, who your God is, and that's true about him. And Paul really had that. And what an inspiring way to view your business journey, and incredibly hard in practice, by the way. It's like, if you can get excited as you hear this and you think on it and you're like, man, that's inspiring. And then it's another thing to do it in practice, because I can tell you I've been thinking this about business for like the last 2 years, and it's so hard in practice. But it's cool to aspire to. And what an awesome picture of leadership, and how your relationship with the Lord, just like it should in all areas of your business, make you more effective at blessing and bringing light to the workspace, to the world of business. It's like you'll lead like nobody else if you have that kind of deep-seated faith.
Dude, that's really good stuff.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. I'm hearing you talk that out, and it's like, man, what an opportunity to be a testimony, to be an example of what it looks like to have faith to your staff, to even your customers, vendors, but mainly your staff are going to see you and how you are going through these challenging moments. And just like Paul, just this like, I know God's going to get us here. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I know he's going to get us to, from A to B. And for your staff to see you carry yourself in a way that shows confidence, calmness, peace in the midst of really hard times, it's a really, really powerful testimony to your staff.
Yeah, dude.
It's like this opportunity for them to go, man, why isn't he like racked and nervous? Like, why isn't he obsessed about the money? We're not doing well. Why is he so calm? Why is his marriage still so good when it looks like things are really sucking for him right now? It's a really powerful place to like juxtapose your faith with what's happening in the world or what's happening in your business.
Yeah, if you want to be a example, and if you want to influence through your business, like that's become a goal of yours. You want to make an impact on your employees, I guess specifically in this example. I can tell you from experience, listen to what you're saying right now, because it is so true. I'm younger, and I think, being younger sometimes than your employees, or a lot of times when you're in your 20s, it's really easy to have like imposter syndrome and feel like, how am I supposed to motivate, and how am I supposed to inspire, and how am I supposed to lead when, everybody's got more life experience than me. And that's true for me, it has been about employees, and it's been about people, or it's been about business partners and vendors and blah, blah, blah. But I can tell you the one thing that I can specifically point to over the last several years where I've had meaningful conversations and impact on employees that I'm grateful for. like almost to the experience have come out of employees approaching me with an observation about my life, like you just pointed out.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like what, that I see this in you when I see you do business, when I interact with you. It's very different than the experiences I've had with other employers, other managers, whatever. And it's typically surrounds peace, level-headedness, and the ability to, stay the course instead of just getting spastic when things go wrong. And that is like, it's a super powerful, and you can't underestimate the power that has. Just the simple act of doing that, because like you and me, we're not super big. We're not extroverts, and we're not naturally like very preachy or do these
we're
big
pretty kept people, if you will.
Yeah,
it's our nature.
We like to. Our preferred method of influence is just like living the way we live, and hoping that rubs off. And
well, it's like the old adage.
I can tell you it works.
It's the old adage. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's like, at all times share the gospel with others, and when necessary, use words.
That's
like,
good.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously people have to hear to believe. They got to understand the gospel. But the whole the gist of that is that
but it gives you the opportunity to then share the gospel.
Right, they're going to watch
somebody
your
who's
life
interested
versus just constantly preaching at people. And I'm not saying preaching is not good. God can do what He wants with your words, but
for sure,
living in such a way in front of people is such a powerful thing. And when God tests you through your business, and He will. And when it's hard, and business is just hard anyway, but when that happens, and it will, it is such a golden opportunity to share the gospel with how you respond, and show the Lord that you're in business for more than just the money. You're really actually in business truly to see their lives be changed.
Hey guys, thank you for watching today's episode of the Vertical Business Podcast. If you want to listen to more vertical business content, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and we are also now available on X, formerly known as Twitter. So if you guys want to go give us a follow over there, it would mean a lot, as well as subscribe to us on all the other channels. In addition to the Vertical Business Podcast, you probably hear Jeff and I talk a lot about Sparrow, kingdom-minded giving. If you are interested more in what we are doing over at Sparrow, you want to subscribe to our newsletter, you want to get in contact with Jeff and I for any reason, we would love if you would go and visit the Sparrow website at gosparrow.com. Sparrow is spelled S-P-E-I-R-O. And over there, again, you can interact with us at a deeper level, as well as get access to the materials we talk about on the podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks.